Well, just harvested my garlic and was going to take you along to show you the most recent big job I've got going here, and it's the chicken coop. So if you remember from my previous videos, I started the chicken coop ended. I said I was going to start on it again, didn't quite make it. Said I was going to start on it again, didn't quite make it. Got a lot of things going on here, and well, I've started on the chicken coop. So the area where I want the chicken coop is prone to standing water, and I had the option of fixing the area that holds the water, or to just relocate the chicken coop. But I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to keep the chicken coop where it originally was planned to be, because we had spent a good amount of time in preparing that area. And then I showed you what was going to take place, and here is an update. Also, I'm going to show you the garlic that is curing in the shop. So here, let me show you what we got going on here. Well, it's a familiar sight. If you saw the trenching video, then you will recognize that every time I dig a trench, it rains and fills up, just like the hydrant repair video. Every time I dig a big giant hole, it rains and fills up with water. So this has actually doesn't look that great, but it's going to keep. You see, the area of the chicken coop is actually dry, and this used to be completely underwater. So the trench is working somewhat. What I did was I went in and I dug two very deep holes, one here and one here, as deep as I could pretty much get it with the backhoe, and then I filled it in with rock. And so those are just an area of what they call a sink. So any water that would rain inside that area or get wet has a place to naturally go to. Here we have the meet and greet going on again, just like usual. This is how Badger meets the family next door. So, all right, so he's done with that for now. But the trench goes all the way around the back behind this fence. That will be the future run, and it is a varying depths on purpose so that the water will flow. And then I got it all the way out to there. So this is where I'm going to be putting the pop-up drain. You can see where it has receded throughout this was brimming. We got 4 inches of rain in about 2.5 hours. Let's see, 6 days ago. So I'm perplexed though on what to do. There's a couple ways that I can fix this, and I haven't quite decided which way to go. So one way I can do this is I can pump it out. Obviously, that's what I did. I went and bought a pump for the trench behind the shop and would pump it out as it filled up. And then eventually, if you just keep doing that, God will allow you to have enough time for it to not rain and finish your project. So after pumping it out, I think 2 times, 3 times, then we had enough time for it to dry up and finish the project, so I could do that. But the problem with that is the pump that I bought is just a normal pump. It's electricity, an electric pump, and the distance from the shop to the new moat is over 100 foot easily, and I don't feel confident that putting extension cords that far, I'm just afraid it would burn up the motor in that pump. There's a rule on what you can get by with on your length of extension cords, and pretty much from what I look at, nothing really goes over 100 foot, and I would probably need about 150 foot of extension cord, which I have, but I don't think that's a great idea. So I have another option. I could get an inverter, a power inverter, and I could basically connect it a DC to AC power inverter, and I could clip that to the riding lawnmower and run it that way, so that I could plug in the pump that I have. All I would have to buy is the inverter, and I could pump it for, you know, probably maybe an hour, I'm hoping, at a time, because that'll also drain that battery down, and then I'd have to stop and plug up the battery to a battery mender and recharge the battery on the lawnmower. I could get the other lawnmower, take it out there, and repeat, and I could probably get a good solid 2 hours of drainage pumping in a day. I also have Bertha. I could take Bertha out there and maybe get a third hour. I don't know if I'm gonna do that either. The other option is they do sell DC pumps, so but it's basically the same deal. I'd have to hook it up to a battery, and the same scenario. So I don't know really what to do. I was planning on buying a very small DC powered pump in order to water the garden from an IBC tank, but I wasn't planning on buying a pump that was very powerful, because I don't really need a lot of power to water a garden, especially if I'm going to be using, I plan on using like drip tape or sucker hose, and the pump that I have is rated at something like 350 gallons an hour or something like that. I don't need that much. That would blow out everything that I hooked it up to. So I was looking at buying like a 1.5 gallon per minute pump, but based on the previous trench here at the back of the shop was roughly in excess of over 800 gallons of water, and the size of that trench that I just dug is going to be really close to that. So you're talking, I'd say probably 800 gallons, maybe a little shy of that. This one was this first trench, this back of the shop trench, was, I can't remember exactly now. I think it took 2.5 hours at 350 gallons. So you know, whatever that equates to, it's over 800. This trench isn't near as deep, but it's about as long. In fact, it's longer. So I'm guessing it's 800. So if I were to buy the 1.5 gallon per minute, you can do the math and know that that's going to take hours and hours and hours. And then again, you know, that's battery drainage, and I don't know. I haven't figured out what to do. So if you have a suggestion, I'd love to hear it. Anyway, that's where we're at with the chicken coop. I got to do something about it, get the water out so that I can finish that project and then start actually construction of the coop. But now I'm going to show you the garlic that we just pulled out of the ground. So I'll bring into the shop here, and if you saw our previous garlic harvest video, we went kind of crazy with the garlic. Lots and lots of garlic. So we're still eating on that garlic. If you peel it and separate the cloves, you can freeze it, and it will stay, well, for over a year, is what we're finding. Tastes just like the day that we pulled it, you know, out of the ground after it cured. So we scaled back considerably. So I'll show you the garlic that we have. We just pulled it out of the ground last night, and we've got it curing here in the shop. So this is inside the shop. This is the same little stall that we had it in last year. Not near as many. So this is 80 head of garlic. So, or 80 heads of garlic, or however you want to say it. So basically from here, let's see, from here, this direction is called Music, and that's by far the best garlic that we have planted, and we're going to continue to plant this variety. It does great. Over in this section, this is actually right here. These are some volunteers that was left over. We don't know what they are, so we just separate them so we could we'll just kind of eat them first and not replant them, just because we don't know for sure what variety they are. And then if you look to over here, this side, this is the Roja, and this is Spanish Roja variety, and that's something that we planted previously and we really enjoyed, so we decided to plant more of that. And so we got about of the 80 heads, it's roughly 60% Music, 40% Roja, and that's what we had decided to do. We honestly cannot tell a difference in taste between the two varieties. It's just that the Music garlic, the cloves are gigantic. I mean, they are huge. So if you want to put, a little garlic, which we don't believe in a little garlic, but if you want to put a little bit of garlic in something, then you would want to probably use the Roja variety, or a half a clove of the Music. But we generally put at least two Music cloves, which are very big, is a little bit of garlic for us. We really enjoy the taste of garlic, and we cook with it all the time. So we go through quite a bit of the garlic, and what we're growing here this is probably a year's supply of garlic for us, and it'll stay good for about 6 more months. We keep it downstairs where it's cold and dark, and then during that time, as we just use it fresh, we'll take a few and we'll go ahead and take the cloves and separate them and start freezing them, so that it's just not so much to do at one time. But like I said, we have plenty in the freezer still, so we really scaled back. Probably could have scaled back a little bit more, to be honest with you, but growing garlic is really fun. It's super easy and it's very rewarding. So if you don't grow garlic and you like garlic, grow you some garlic. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Some of this is covered in other videos. The chicken coop, I'm doing a series of videos on that, just because it's such a big project. If it was just one video, it'd be 3 hours long and nobody would want to see it. So but I figured I'd want to bring you along and share the garlic harvest with you. I am still working on the plumbing in the shop, and I'm going to do a video on that, just to string along the videos as I do, and so that'll be just one continuous video, staged over, I don't know, probably a week. But anyway, if you like this video, you enjoy our content, please subscribe. That would really help us out a lot. You join the other handful of people that have done so, and we will grow this channel one by one by one by one, until maybe we can reach double digits. Anyway, have a good one.